Tonight, the countdown is on. We are now 9.5 hours away from a committee vote that could push Brett Kavanaugh toward the Supreme Court. And at this hour, there's nothing to indicate that vote is going to be canceled. Good evening. I'm glad you're here. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. And today's fiery testimony on Capitol Hill captivated the entire country. And tonight, we examine the body language on display and look at the implications this day has on the future of our political process.
But first, let's break down the confirmation process and where we go from here.
We know Republicans hold 51 Senate seats, Democrats hold 49. So this means, assuming every Democratic senator votes against Kavanaugh, 2 Republicans would need to vote no for the nomination to fail. And tonight, that's the biggest question of all. Will any Republicans flip? Arizona Senator Jeff Flake, Susan Collins of Maine, Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, and Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee are considered the 4 Republican swing votes that could decide the fate of this nomination. And late this evening, Corker announced he'd be voting yes.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia has not declared his position on Kavanaugh. Neither has Colorado Republican Cory Gardner. Now, we've called his office, we've emailed his staff, we've texted his spokesperson multiple times, and we haven't heard back yet.
That's right. We have heard from Michael Bennet, who is planning to vote no. In a statement today, he said, before we vote on a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court, the FBI should investigate the underlying facts of this dispute.
Now, leadership insists the Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on Kavanaugh's confirmation in the morning as planned. That's 7:30 a.m. our time. And then we could see a procedural vote Saturday and Monday, and then a final confirmation vote on Tuesday. And in case you had to step away from your screen at any point today, let's get you caught up on some of the highlights.
I am here today not because I want to be. I am terrified. I am here because I believe it is my civic duty to tell you what happened to me while Brett Kavanaugh and I were in high school.
What is the strongest memory you have? The strongest memory of the incident, something that you cannot forget?
The laughter, the uproarious laughter between the two.
With what degree of certainty do you believe Brett Kavanaugh assaulted you?
100%.
Have you ever engaged in sexual behavior with Dr. Ford, even if it was consensual?
No.
If every American who drinks beer or every American who drank beer in high school is suddenly presumed guilty of sexual assault, we'll be in an ugly new place in this country.
Bravery is contagious.
You have inspired and you have enlightened men in America.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020.
Pretty compelling stuff today. You were glued to it all day, whether it was at work or school or at home. And we know a lot of you have questions.
So Denver 7's Jackie Correa brought your questions to multiple experts with different points of view.
Right. Whether you emailed us or posted on Facebook, there are questions about today's behavior from both Ford and Kavanaugh, the emotions from the Judiciary panel, and what this unprecedented hearing could mean for the process as a whole. At a barber shop, on a bus, on your flights, everyone was captivated by today's testimony from Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and the woman accusing him of sexual assault, Blasey Ford. While it was dramatic and raw at times, CU poli-sci professor Tony Robinson says the Senate Republicans on the Judiciary Committee were strategic with their questions. With Blasey Ford, he notes how the female prosecutor handled the questions.
But then when Judge Kavanaugh comes on, they respond with just raw emotional support and concern that a man is being attacked.
And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy.
The goal? To win over the few Republicans who decide if Kavanaugh gets the Supreme Court nomination.
Could you answer the question?
And what about Kavanaugh's at times angry behavior towards senators questioning him?
Evidence of his kind of uncontrolled spirit at times, which is exactly what he's being accused of.
Robinson believes it could hurt him, but it could also rally the GOP base. If you ask Jimmy Sangenberger, the president of the Millennial Policy Center, Kavanaugh had no choice but to passionately defend himself.
His life, his reputation, his career, his family, everything is put on the line for unsubstantiated accusations and allegations. And he's not willing to just take it.
He doesn't believe the assault happened and told us Kavanaugh's detailed calendar of his activities when he was 17 years old was evidence enough. That brings us to Barbara Paradiso, who leads the Center on Domestic Violence at CU. Her expertise on survivors of sexual assaults is everyone's first response when a victim comes forward is to believe.
There is no benefit to this woman coming forward and telling her story. She's not going to make a lot of money. It's not going to promote her into a new position.
She believes the outcome could have huge impacts.
I think certainly the way that the Senate chooses to respond to these hearings will have an impact on whether or not people feel comfortable coming forward and telling their story.
And something interesting to mention, the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network reports today they have seen a 147% increase in calls. They say it's a direct result of the Kavanaugh hearing.
Thank you, Jackie. Now, with the committee set to vote tomorrow, Boulder woman Debbie Ramirez may never get her chance to testify. Today, the domestic violence-focused nonprofit that she works for told us they've been slammed with threats and hate messages since she came forward. And her lawyer says she is willing to talk to the FBI at any time.
And tonight we know where the president stands. He called this confirmation process a total sham. And he's sticking by Judge Kavanaugh, calling his performance today powerful and honest. And our team in the newsroom working overnight will keep an eye on these swing senators and have complete coverage for you starting at 4:30 a.m.